Gary Lineker's very quiet on Israel, isn't he? Emma Thompson, all the lovies, very quiet, suspiciously quiet. Where is Gary Lineker's condemnation of Hamas? We've seen reports of babies being beheaded, women being raped, old women, Holocaust survivors actually, being held hostage. Gary will accuse our Home Secretary of using the language of 1930s Germany, but won't condemn people who actually use the actions of 1930s Germany. It's funny that, isn't it? Very funny. The absolute fact is this. Islamist militants stormed a nation, indiscriminately killed civilians, raped women and took hostages. They behaved like terrorists. Hamas is a designated terrorist organisation. The BBC, our state broadcaster, is refusing to call them terrorists. They say they're militants. I mean, it's one step away from freedom fighters, for goodness sake, isn't it? A wise old sage, John Simpson, long-term BBC employee, comes out and says this. British politicians know perfectly well why the BBC avoids the use terrorist. And over the years, plenty of them have privately agreed with it. Calling someone a terrorist means that you're taking sides and ceasing to treat the situation with due impartiality. He was immediately fact-checked on Twitter, for what it's worth, which you love to see. Check this out. In 2021, the UK government prescribed Hamas as a terrorist organisation, and BBC editorial guidelines states due impartiality does not require absolute neutrality on every issue or detachment from fundamental democratic principles such as the rule of law. So there we go. Yeah. He's also, for what it's worth, been immediately fact-checked by the BBC's own coverage in the past. Political website Guido Fawkes have done a little roundup of the numerous times the Beeb will use the word terrorist. They don't really shy away from it on anything other than what goes on in Israel. So, if the BBC wanted to, they quite clearly could call Hamas terrorists. They could do that, they just don't want to. Sadiq Khan and the Metropolitan Police, they're talking about reassurance patrols on the streets of London. Why do we need reassurance patrols, do you think? Just say it. Just say it. It's because we've imported people who hate Jews, isn't it? And look at this. There are more on the way, OK? We can see people in refugee camps in Greece and asylum processing centres celebrating the slaughter of Jews. I believe we do have a clip of this, actually, now. So these are people within a camp in the Greek island of Samos. Now, they were absolutely celebrating, their arms aloft, they were shouting Allahu Akbar and all of this stuff. I believe we can play that now. And presumably, we will just be distributing these people around Europe soon, will we? And they might be on small boats across the channel before you can say it. Yeah. Exactly. Even our dear king has been so disgusted with recent events in Israel that he has condemned Hamas's atrocities. He's gone against convention and got involved in the most political thing possible. But not Gary, no, not the lovies. They don't mind about offending Brits. They don't mind about offending Jewish people sometimes, but they're absolutely terrified of offending elements of the Muslim community. Why is that, I wonder?